Yo, what's up, friends? Welcome back to the local podcast. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Greensburg Video. That's my video and photography company located right here on Main Street in Greensburg. If you and your company are up for some fresh ideas and some engaging content, look no further than Greensburg Video. You can check out my work at gbgvideo.net or greensburgvideo.com. My portfolio is growing daily, so you can check that out. Shoot me a message, and we'll figure out a strategy for you. Speaking of advertising, you can do that for your business right here on the local podcast. If you're interested in that, hit me up at thelocal724.com. All right, today on the show, we have a recording artist and the CEO of Hi-Fi Productions. You may have heard this dude all over WYEP all week long. It's Lyn Starr. Let's do it. Welcome to the Local 724 podcast in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Local podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Hauser. Today with me, we have Lyn Starr. He's a recording artist, and he just happens to be chilling out in Vegas right now. How's the weather out there, sir?
It's pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
It's consistently nice.
Yeah. So why don't you, let's start right at the beginning, and why don't you talk to me a little bit about like your childhood, how you grew up, where you grew up, and how you got into music.
Childhood, where I grew up, how I grew up, how I got into music. So when I was younger, I grew up living with my mom mostly. But, you know, I would see my dad often, you know, and I would go over to my dad's house, and my dad used to, I guess at one point, everybody wanted to be a rapper, and that's still the same thing. So he used to go to the studio, and he would take me, and he would rap, and he would let me cuss and do stuff on the track. It was hilarious. It was funny. And I guess that had an impression on me. Actually, which is really funny, it's cyclical. This is really how life is full circle, right? The same studio he went to at that time when he took me was the same studio I ended up going back to actually start recording my own music when I was 15.
Nice.
Well, so it wasn't the same studio, but it was the same engineer, you know?
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So shout out to Soy Sauce at Touchdown Recording, because that's who that was. So, you know, and as I was growing up, one of my favorite rappers I remember when I was 5 years old, my dad used to make me rap his lyrics, was DMX, which is ironic as hell. R.I.P., you know, right? So that's something that was a part of me as a youngin' too. But when I turned 10, I realized I could sing. So I was like singing. So all that other stuff was just, you know, like first impressions on me about music, but I realized I could sing. So I was telling my mom I could sing. They were like, kind of whatever. All right. So they put me into music camp. They're like, all right, we're going to give them something to do. They put me into music camp. And one day my dad walks in to pick me up, but I'm singing. Now he doesn't know it's me singing. He's just coming to pick me up. And some dude's like, hey, come listen to your son sing. And still he doesn't know that's me. And he's like, he comes in and he looks through the partition. He's like, oh, that was Lyn singing the whole time? And he's like, yeah, man, your son can really sing. Like, he's like, whoa, he gets on the phone with my mom immediately. And he's like, did you know Lyn can sing? So they're like, what do you mean? Like, they're just talking about it. So then they send me to a performing arts middle school. The performing arts middle school, I guess, was just to further that creative flow, you know, that I was having. But it was like you get into majors in that school. So you get to choose, like, it's kind of like college, but it's like college. It's like a conservatory, you know, like an arts conservatory, but it's for younger students. So like I was in sixth grade. I would still take like English, math, science, and all of those other classes. But at one part of the day, I'm singing all day. That's like what I do now, you know? So then I go from there to a high school. And so I'm singing all the fucking time. But when I got to about like 9th, 10th grade, I was listening to Childish Gambino, and I like, so there were some dudes in school who were rapping, and they always wanted me to sing on shit. But this is the time when my voice was changing. I was no longer a tenor. I was feeling distraught. Like everything was horrible. And I thought I couldn't sing anymore. Right. So, but I'm listening to Childish Gambino, and he's rapping and he's singing. And like, I'm like, oh shit. Like, you know, I can sing a little bit. Like, you know, let me try to rap. So like that from there, like I'm 15 years old and I'm like, I'm going to be a rapper. Like that was it. I just listening to a Childish Gambino song. I was like, I'm going to be a rapper. And after that, I just continued down that road of rapping. I don't know. When I started rapping, I guess I kind of started rapping really well. Not to toot my own horn. I started rapping like good enough to rap with my friends who were rapping since they were like 7. And I was 15, you know, and I'm right. I mean, obviously they're a little bit better than me, but I'm catching up. I'm like really catching up. And it's really like, I showing that I'm a good lyricist. Like, and so I guess from 15 on, I'm just writing a bunch of raps, but around 20 something, I'm starting to gain confidence in my voice again. So we're having this mix of music and talent and all of these things that I've just been working on is just like now coming to bloom. And now you have me now. So that's the music. But I grew up on the Hill District and the north side of Pittsburgh. So like both of those places I was constantly at, as well as my high school being downtown. So downtown Pittsburgh was also a place that I would roam as well. So that's how I grew up, where I grew up, and how I got into music. Did I answer all of those questions?
Everything. Perfectly.
All right. There we go.
So I do know that, when you went to Seton Hill, right?
Yes.
So a little bit of Greensburg in you too.
Yes.
Very nice. So
a little bit of Greensburg in me.
Yeah. What did you do at Seton Hill?
The same exact thing, music. I went to school for music. I don't even know why I skipped that part. Yeah, I went to school for music in Greensburg. So self-proclaimed rapper walking around Greensburg who also sang opera. That was fun.
Dude, that was fun. It's really cool because like we talked real briefly before we started recording this, and I was telling you like, some of your music, like, man, really just like I was jamming to it this week. And I was just like, man, this is like really awesome. I really enjoyed, especially on your new album. The new album's called Tierra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So on the new album, there's one
EP.
song on
it's an EP. EP, not album. I don't want to call it anything an album until I made it. But
so yeah, no, you're good. The what was it? 96 Corolla, I think. Mm-hmm. Dude, like that song is just like, that's awesome. Baby Rose Garden, like all the ones like towards the end of the EP for me really were just like, I really can see what you were talking about with like your singing abilities and your rap abilities. Very, very cool stuff. What's your favorite type? What's your favorite type to sing? Like, do you like to do like the mixed or just one specific?
If you not like 96 Corolla was, if that was a style, whatever the style that was, that would be what I like.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to pull off all the lyricism that I want while like giving you like, so vocals that show like, oh, he can sing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's my favorite. That's my favorite style.
That's really cool.
I don't know what that is. That's just a mix, I guess. Yeah.
Dude, it's you, man. That's awesome. That's a lot of fun though, that, we really can't pinpoint it. I think that's when you find out something's pretty special or very unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really cool. So now that, you're all grown up and you're doing your own thing, you have a son, correct?
Yes, I do.
So what's dad life like? How's that in the mix of, being an artist?
It's kind of weird. I feel like my life has gotten a little bit easier in a way since I became a dad. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people. I'm one of like 17 siblings. I know that sounds crazy as well, but so kids in my life, like babies in my life, is not anything hard. I understand what, like, you're crying and you have like 3 reasons you're crying. You need change, you need some food, or you're just uncomfortable for no damn reason. So like, like, I don't know, like I get that part, but like it's giving me a lot of purpose, I guess. Like when I say it made it easier, every step I make is very intuitive now. It's very, I'm filling things out way better than I was. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like that adult thing clicked. And I'm glad it clicked while having a kid, because I've seen a lot of people not click while having a kid. And I'm like, wow, you need to grow the fuck up.
Right.
But yeah, man. So like every step I take, like I can fill it out. I can feel when I don't want to be places. I'm telling people no now in a way better way than I've never told people before. Like just being a dad has given me a lot more, I don't know, just grown up energy. I like it.
Yeah.
and clairvoyance in a way, So that's how that's helped. And that's what it's like.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's nice to be able to, kind of leave the party in the past, not all the time.
Oh, wait. I still have fun. Hold on.
Yeah, I was going to say not all the time, but
Yeah.
it is nice to like, you get that random call and it's like, yo, let's go out and do this and do that. And it's like, I gotta play it cool tonight.
Right.
Yeah, it is nice to say no every once in a while. I'm in that position myself. But talk to me a little bit about how COVID kind of impacted your musical career.
It gave me more time. I think it gave everyone more time. So that's a thing. Some in good ways, some in bad ways. But to me, it took away my reliance on productivity. So what I mean by that is productivity has always been the thing that gave me my worth. The more prolific I was, the more worthy I was of something. You know what I mean? So, but with COVID, one, there was stimulus money. So there was money being given out without productivity. I was getting unemployment. So there was money being given out again without productivity. So giving me time to do what I want. I did also start finding a job at one point, and but then I quit that job because I realized I didn't like that job. And I started moving. That's when I started moving intuitively. So it was a little bit before the kid. It was a little bit before the kid. And I started getting jobs. I started paying more. And after that, I was supposed to go to college at USC. I was supposed to go to get my master's. But I was having kids. So that kind of COVID, just like everything just fucked me up and pushed me back. I'm sorry. Can I cuss on the podcast?
Absolutely.
I've already cussed before. But all right.
That's all right.
So everything fucked me up and pushed me back a little bit further. And with pushing me back, it gave me the time to write Tierra. And so Tierra, I think, was one of my best musical projects because I had the confidence to experiment. I had everything I needed. So I don't know, like COVID just for me, I mean, even though I was, weary, I'm staying safe and I'm just trying to stay home, but it really it gave me space. It gave me time to create, and it gave me confidence in myself. Yeah. It just taught me, I mean, I don't know. I had time to sit at home and be me. So, right. and deal with me. So now I know who I am in a better way than I did before. And so, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a common theme on this show that like, when we get to this point of the conversation, like everyone kind of feels like it was a good time to like find yourself, really good time to experiment. You had just the ability to, like you said, just kind of like slow down and just be yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's like one of the coolest things. I mean, from a musical standpoint, I know like myself, friends of mine, guys that we all used to be in bands together and stuff. Like we haven't played music in years and years and years. And, dude, 2020 rolled around and all of a sudden I find myself upstairs just jamming on my guitar again because I had time to do it. And it was so awesome, man. It like really kind of put me back into my childhood a little bit. And I was just like, this is awesome. I can work a little bit. I can do a little bit of, video editing or something during the day. And then I can take a break and I can go play my guitar for a little while. But dude, it was cool. Yeah. It's not bad to slow down. I think that's like the silver lining behind this whole entire thing. It's just, stuff like that. But
and the shakeup of the system. I enjoy that.
I
enjoy that so capitalism is a little bit. It's a little bit. it's showing some flaws that we need to fix now, you know, and that's
absolutely.
I appreciate that. So
do I. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm the guy who's, I always make this joke to like my wife and my buddies. I'm just like, yo, I'm the dude who's always like, I see like a tornado warning on TV and I'm like, oh man, what's going to happen? And then like, I don't really want to see it, but I kind of want to see what would happen.
You know?
It's like you're intrigued with the chaos.
Exactly.
So talk to me about the production company. That's like, when did that come to be? Is that right after school or is that something more recent?
That happened during high school. I skipped over that. That happened at 17. So when you want to be a rapper, you want to be on shows. Like you have to be on shows, but people don't put you on shows because who the hell are you? Right? You just started rapping yesterday. So I was like, well, fuck y'all. I'm gonna put myself in my own shows. So I was going to the principal at like 17 and I'm like, hey, can I put a show in this? Can I like do a show? Like here. And you know, Kappa like was one of those places. You're artsy fartsy. You want to do a show? We're gonna help you do a show. So I would do shows every once in a while at Kappa. Once after Kappa, I would start like doing shows outside, like in other studios. And so I'm putting up my own money at this point. I'm a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old young man, like just making the little bit of money that I'm making, probably like $10 an hour and, you know, putting on shows. And then it just started growing. So there was a point, obviously, where I had to be like, okay, I have to make this an actual company. I'm just yelling out High Five Productions in music and I'm putting it on flyers, but that doesn't really make it exist. So around 22, I like go to the bank, I set up the business account, I do everything that I got to do. And I get a team a little bit earlier than that. Ryan and Nick. So they start helping me manage the company as well. And so like, that's just kind of how that unfolded, but kind of funny how I got them on my team. I like reached out on Facebook. Was like, man, I really need help. Like, yeah, I was like, man, this shit is hard. Like you do production. It's very hard to do all of this shit yourself, to email everyone, to put it up on social media, to like, just make sure you have the content yourself. Oh my God, just all of it, right? And editing the content and yada, 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 yada.
It's fucking bonkers. I literally, this year, I ended up hiring a social media, a girl, and she literally is the only reason that everything is like as organized and you know, put together as it is. It's nuts.
Yeah, man. It's not. So I said on Facebook, I need help. And then Nick, I guess he just messaged me and he's like, dude, look, I don't know anything about anything you're asking me to do, but I see that you have passion and you're putting your all towards this. So I would love to help. So I'm like, you know, teaching him what he needs to know as he goes along through like the mistakes I've made and just, you know, all of the stuff. And so he comes on board, but then we need a social media manager. I'm like, I can't do this. We go on Facebook. We go on Facebook again and we're like, hey, we need help. And then Ryan, he's like, hey, it's same situation. I don't know anything about this, but I'm willing to help. You look passionate about what you're doing. I see you all the time on Facebook pushing it. So yeah. And then Ryan hops on and that's how like High Five started gaining momentum as a team. And now I'm trying to get a actual studio. I am trying to buy a building and put audio engineers in there, vocal booths in there, space for performance. I am trying to do it all. So that is on the books now. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's, you know, a bunch of different types of people, but there's like two mainly that you can think of, you know, and it's just kind of like you were talking about, like, you know, you want to get recognition for what you're doing. Well, how do you do that? You have to have a bigger footprint than just saying, hey, I am this person or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the podcast kind of took off because I realized that I wasn't the star of the show at all. I'm just the guy who kind of steers the ship and hits the record button. Everybody wants to listen to my guests. And that's what I really realized was just like, the people that I am having onto this show are what drives, the engagement on the show. So it was just once you realize that, you're making a bigger footprint by doing something this way. You really you can grow very fast. It's very nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's very cool. So are the guys that are helping you out, are they musicians as well?
In a way, yeah. So, well, actually, yeah. So Ryan definitely, fully musician. He's a music teacher. He plays trumpet. And sometimes he made the beat for Garden.
Oh,
some
nice.
People don't know.
Yeah.
So Ryan is, hold on, big, money truck riding past. Give me a second. All right. So yeah, Ryan made the beat for Garden. So Ryan is a musician all the way. Nick, he was a percussionist when he was younger. So he was in band, but he's not very, music all the time. He listens to a lot of music though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's cool. I was watching a video on your site and it was you. Was it Garden that you were performing?
Mm-hmm. Could have been, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, it was really cool. So it was you, and really kind of all I could see was you, an acoustic guitarist, which was really cool. That really piqued my interest.
Steven Shine.
And two backup singers.
Yes, Sage Smith and Angelia Taylor.
So where were you guys at whenever you were performing that live?
We were in my girlfriend's mother's garage.
Really?
Yes.
I was I'm going to have to rewatch that because I looked at it and I was like, oh man, this looks like a really cool, venue type. I thought it was like a Sunday brunch or something.
Oh, bro.
It's a pretty nice garage.
I am the master at taking shit and making it look like gold.
Dude.
And it's not just me. It's obviously my team. We all sit there and we think okay, like I said, wow, we're doing this all out of our pockets, bro. You know what I mean? And I make enough money for a 25-year-old, but damn it, I don't make enough money to run a damn production company. I do need the residuals, I do need that. But we try to do the best we can with our creativity. Cause when you have limited resources, your creativity has to be on point, on point, like no other. And so that's basically that's what we're going for at all times. We're all right, so we have this garage, we have this wall. How do we make this wall look like we're, how do we make it a performance? I haven't performed in months, you know what I mean? So this is my first performance in months. This is the first performance people are going to see in months. How am I going to make it as good as when I was at Mr. Smalls? Because that was my last performance. When I'm at Mr. Smalls, performing with lighting and a drummer and a DJ, how do I make this show look as good as that? And it's all right, well, we're going to do it. We're going to do it with some plastic plants and tablecloth, and we're going to do it.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's what I was saying. I thought you were at a Sunday brunch somewhere fancy, and I was like, this is awesome. Where the hell is this place? Mom's garage. That's so neat. That's so awesome, man. Very.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
So your last show was at Mr. Smalls. Talk to me about that. Was that before COVID, I imagine? Yes,
bro. That was February something. I don't know. February, there was a 7 to it. I don't know, 17, 27, 7. I don't know. But it was Mr. Smalls. The show was called Lyn Sanity, right? So I performed for an hour. It was fun as shit. I had no problem performing for an hour. If people don't know, I did musicals all through high school. Performing for an hour ain't shit. Jumping around and doing all of that, it's fun. But so I had Lyn Sanity. It was at Mr. Smalls. It was put on by I don't know, was it Opus One? So they host a lot of shows at Mr. Smalls, and they messaged me and was like, hey, would you like to be a headliner at Mr. Smalls? And I believe the reason why they asked me is because I opened for Bone Thugs and Harmony earlier that November.
Oh, dang.
they like really enjoy. I remember dude coming up to me like, "Hey, we'll work again." And so we did. That was really awesome. But so yeah, man, that was like one of the greatest shows of my life. I was able to put that on and get many people there. It wasn't like the craziest show. Like it wasn't like the craziest, and it wasn't Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'll tell you that. Like there was so many people there, but it was sincere. It was the people who I've really touched. So to see like 50 people that I actually engaged with show up, you know, and I'm performing at Mr. Smalls, and you know what I mean? And they brought some of their friends and and even some people who I got to buy tickets, even though they didn't come. I'm really good at that. I'm like, oh, you could still support, you know? And then they're like, all right, well, I'll buy one and donate it. So like, you know, if you come to my shows, most likely there will be donated tickets and you can probably get it for free. Just ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was really like, it was something else. Like just for your last show to be really genuine and called Lyn Sanity was really cool. So that was awesome.
That's awesome, man. So talk to me about the Bone Thugs Harmony show. How
all right, so that one was amazing. That to like open, so I was like right before them. So there was many Pittsburgh artists that opened before them. Like I believe like shout out to Treble and LS. I believe there's a person, DJ Femi, I believe she was DJing. But I got to like literally go right before them. So when the crowd was at its height, you know, and that at that point, that's right after, that's Universe 25. Like Universe 25 just released. So I'm performing Universe 25. And so that's the hottest shit I had then at that point. And they loved it. Like I just like really was like, the videos that I have of it was like, damn, this man's rocking a stage. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, man. It was like those 2 years, 2019 and 2020, before the pandemic were like, I mean, even after the pandemic were amazing, but like just for performance wise, I was really catching footing. I was really getting paid. I was starting to see that, okay, this is something that I can do, you know, and like, I'm opening up for headliners now. So like, I can do this. Like, yeah, you know, so let's do this is how I was feeling.
Nice. And that's kind of where I wanted to be right here. So what are you going to do? What is the future for you to keep rolling with that momentum? Even though we had this break, how are you going to take that 2019, 2020 energy and use it to go forward?
Oh man, because this one's about I'm all about strategy now. I guess having a kid is about strategy. So I've just been honestly going forward. All right. So the next steps for me, I will be releasing some more music, but right now I'm in no fucking hurry. Tiara was beautiful. So let that sit for a little bit. I will be going to get my master's at USC in the music industry. So that's a big step, I'm sure, for my company, and I'm sure for connections, and I'm sure just for my music, to be able to live in LA and be in the music industry. That's awesome. And just getting this money. Can I say that?
Absolutely.
That's really my next steps. It's not necessarily just focused on the music, because music is a part of me. Music has always been a part of me. Music will always fall out of me. That is how that will work. But I am focused on the money, and I am focused on financial independence right now. And how can I make that happen for me and my family? Yeah. And music will be a tool to make that happen. But music will also just be a byproduct of that financial independence and of that freedom that I have. So that's kind of the next steps. Like I'm just going with the flow. Like I said, music will always be there. So I'm just living now.
That's good, man. One thing that I really noticed that I really admire is the kind of your dependence on education. That's something that's like, I've grown up with a bunch of guys that are in bands and, performers and stuff, and they've hit it big. They're touring Australia and Europe and all this stuff. And, the plan, when you hit it big, when you're a young guy, is to drop everything and go. And the thing that I really admire about you is the fact that you have this is going to be your third college that you're talking about. USC will be number 3 for you.
Oh no, number two.
Okay. So Seton Hill, and then, Yeah. So it's just like, dude, very cool that, you realize that that's an important part of your strategy is the educational part of it. And, dude, I'm really excited to see how that sets you apart from everybody else.
Word. Yeah, man. I appreciate it. I always think like, so there's always multiple investments you got to make. I really think school is just an investment for me. Honestly, I don't believe in a lot of the traditional ways and how things have been taught. I don't believe in school that much. I am a teacher in many ways. But yeah, man, I believe in the connections that I believe in. Look, you're at a certain age with a certain group of people who are all really ambitious and they're trying to do things. You know what I mean? So like, that's what school is to me. It's like I'm here for the experience of school and the investment of it. And yeah, so, and I believe in it and I'm good at it. I mean, like, I'm good at memorization. I'm good at learning things I like to learn. I'm a scholar by trade, I would say too. So yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's where the school comes in. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's really cool. There's a few musicians that I know of that really used their training in college, in their musical career. I mean, like John Mayer, he went to Juilliard. I mean, that's like, and that's what you hear about that guy is that, oh my God, he's the best guitar player alive right now, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Eric Clapton calls the guy the best guitar player in the world. So, to be John Mayer and sitting there and thinking like, well, yeah, I mean, he was probably pretty good without the college, but to be in there and be, trained and stuff like that.
It's the discipline, man. The discipline that will come from school, man, that you will get nowhere else. I mean, you could probably get it if you're Michael Jackson and your dad making you do that shit at 5 like that. You'll get that. But yeah, man, it's the discipline that comes from school, the discipline and the learning that and the cheat codes that you learn that you paid for. You paid thousands of dollars. I better learn some damn cheat codes on how I can be better.
Oh man. Awesome, dude. Well, I just want to thank you for chatting with me today. I think it was a good time. I had a really great time talking to you. Learned a lot. And can you tell us where people can find you at on the internet?
Yeah, man, no problem. So you can find me at high5music.co, not .com. People always are like, I did it wrong. Your email's wrong. No, you spelled it wrong. It's co. So that's HIGHFIVEMUSIC.co. You can find everything about my music, about my company there. You can also find me on Twitter. You can search up Lyn Starr. I'm sure you'll find me. But if you look up STOASTA, Stosta, it's like a nickname I was given when I was really young. If you look that up, you will find me everywhere because that's the only unique name. Nobody has ever had that, right? So I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram under Stosta. And you want to look me up on Facebook, it's Lyn Starr. So yeah, that is me. That is where you'll find me.
All right.
So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I'm really happy that we got a chance to talk and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do, man. It's the energy that I can feel from just us having this chat it's awesome, man. It's inspiring. Really makes me want to get some shit done today.
Oh man, thank you, man. Thank you. That's
it's
funny because I am not doing a damn thing today. I'm in Vegas and I'm gonna chill.
I'm gonna let you get back to Vegas.
My dude, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks a lot, man.
No problem. Peace.
All right, there goes Lyn Starr. What an awesome dude. And honestly, you can find him all over the internet. And I mean like all over. He's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. He's on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. The dude's all over the place. He's on WYEP all week long. You got to check him out. Just get out there, connect with him, support him, share this episode, and let him know you're really appreciative of what he's doing as an artist. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next week.